Hey, so this is a TVP. I've already looked through it. The second racks that you make, for some reason, you make it in a position where the tech lab, you're going to have to float it to make the tech lab. Don't do that. Make it in a position where you can, whatever. Secondly, your first depot should be within vision range of the ramp. So if you don't want to wall in, put your depot here. But if you, obviously, normally you should just be walling in with it. The reason being that if he gets a probe into your main and you don't see it, he could cannon you. He could make gateways. He could, like, lots of scary things can happen. So you really want to know whether or not he got something in your main, because your first Marine is going to walk straight to his base. So you can't be using that first Marine to be checking around for whether he has hidden stuff in your base. That means if you want to check for hidden stuff, you have to do it with an SCV, which means lost mining time. So just by building the first depot within range of the ramp, you save yourself that extra mining time. Next, you always want to wall in TVP. Again, you have... I don't think you've ever walled in TVP, except maybe once. And it's never bit you. I've never seen a proxy 2 gate, but one day you'll see a proxy 2 gate, and you'll be like, how can I possibly beat that? And the answer is a wall in. You didn't poke, obviously. I'm okay with that. Again, it's more important to hit properly at 10 minutes than it is to poke. At your 10-minute benchmark is 37 workers and 3,500 army. You actually end up with $3,600 army and 35 workers. So awesome, perfect, great job. By not poking, you give the Protoss the leeway to get this Colossus out. He's like totally willing to not spend his gas on other defensive things. He doesn't make any sentries or anything. Then just look at your army. Again, when we move across the field, we move from here to here. Then we move from here to here. Then we move from here to here. You move in tiny steps so that your army stays in a ball. Because if you let your army spread out like this, it's ridiculous. So if we look at what he has and what you have at 10 minutes and 30 seconds when the fight actually happens, and we go into the unit test map, you win this fight 100% of the time on the unit tester. So you just say 6 Stalkers, 12 Zealots, and a Colossus, right? 6 Stalkers, 12 Zealots, and a Colossus against 4 Marauders and 27 Marines and 2 tanks and a medevac, right? Anyway, so you're going to lose this fight? No, maybe win this, I don't know. Kind of draw this fight. If we look at the damage done, it's even on both sides. And you're unable to kill his Nexus. You didn't overwhelmingly win the fight. You were kind of forced to stand back and do this harassy stuff. And the harassy stuff does work. You do eventually kill the Nexus, and you do win all the fights and push him back and stuff. But it should have been much more one-sided and awesome. It finally breaks you with 1,000,000 Colossus plus Colossus range. But then you're gonna float down here, start mining some more, and now you guys have the same number of workers, but he's not mining and you are, and you're mining like a lot better than him. And then he's gonna add another bajillion probes for no reason, and a lot of his probes are idle. Basically, he's just got too many probes on that second base. And now you're gonna pull in and go again. Again, his observer sees everything you do, so you might want to consider a Raven in that case. But I don't know. See, the thing is, a mixture of Banshees and Ravens is so good because it forces him to make multiple Stalkers, because PD plus Banshees will start picking away this Colossus and he won't be able to stop it with the small number of Stalkers he has, so he'll work them more. And Stalkers are terrible, so forcing him to make more Stalkers, that wastes gas that could have been used on good stuff on bad stuff instead. But anyway, either way, you win the second push, and the game becomes kind of easy, and you do a little dance. I like that he built cannons in his base like an idiot. He's like, I'm afraid of drops. You should exploit that fear by faking drops. Anyway, the only minor improvements I would suggest is to move your army better. And then when you get there, you just got to have the confidence to know that this build will beat 100% of everything Protoss can do. So you don't need to be super passive like this. On the other hand, so I've told you, pushing up a ramp like this against sentries, you can get force fielded and it can be really bad. And against Immortals, it can be frightening to put a tank really close to the edge and then lose vision of the high ground and he just walks up with his Immortals and kills you. So it's often not worth it to push up the second ramp because you should theoretically have a bigger income than him if you're both on one base. But if he's still on 2 base while you're on 1 base and you have a bigger army than him, there's no reason to be passive and push up the ramp slowly like this. You can just walk up and kill him. Also, after you lost all your SCVs without them doing anything useful because your army was all spread out and he just killed all your SCVs, right here. Oops. Here. You didn't bring any more SCVs until much later. It's important, like, Banshees are pretty pointless without SCVs. It's important that if you're going to be doing this tank Banshee harassment stuff, you have SCVs there to repair the Banshees. So a Banshee walks up, kills something, takes some damage from the Stalkers, walks away, gets repaired, then does it again. Does it again. Yeah, but in general, really well done. Not much to do better.